Black Friday is the most important part for every single e-commerce brand. That's just the truth. That's because that's usually when you make the most money. But if you follow the wrong strategies, you can not only miss out on 5 to 6 figures in extra revenue, but you can also become less profitable. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to have the highest revenue months you've ever had and how to have the most profit you've ever made as well, following this simple Black Friday 2025 email marketing masterclass. It's gonna be a comprehensive guide on how to make the most out of your Q4 and how to make sure that you dominate your industry and increase your market share while also staying extremely profitable, because that's what's most important. I've seen dozens of brands generate tons of revenue during Q4 and Black Friday, but being either barely profitable or unprofitable at all. So again, in this guide, I'm going to show you how to do the exact opposite, which is making the most revenue while also making the most profit you've ever made. You can also have the access to 46-point Black Friday checklist, which are gonna help you get everything in place, get everything right, and make sure that you execute everything as you should. So again, the link for that is gonna be in the video description down below. Now, first of all, let's begin with, why do you even need this guide, or why, you should be watching it in the first place? And that's because the consumer trends are shifting. The e-commerce industry isn't raving as much as it was during 2020. And it doesn't mean that, the industry is dying. It means that many brands are just struggling to stay profitable in 2025, which is most likely going to lead to their downfall in the upcoming years. Competition during this year's Black Friday is going to be higher than ever. I mean, everyone knows about, Black Friday, they know what it is. So we can be sure they're going to be doing something special to make sure they're making the most money they can. And what do you think happens when there are more competitors every single day and consumers are spending less money? Well, they'll have to make a choice. So they'll ask themselves the question, which brand do I buy from? And this masterclass will show you how to make sure that you are their choice. And I'm going to show you how to turn these new customers into repeat buyers as well. After going through this document and implementing all of these strategies, you will be able to decrease your Q4 and Q1 2026 customer acquisition costs, improve your cash flow, increase overall profitability, and then survive in these tough conditions and beat your competition. And I mean, if you're not feeling in tough conditions yet, then that's great. But I can assure that during Black Friday, it's gonna get a little bit harder because there is gonna be so much competition, whether it comes to ads, emails, text messages, and so on. A few words about me, just to, so you know why you should be listening to me in the first place. My name is Konrad Wysocki. I'm the founder of Vent Email, which is an email marketing agency where we work with over 60 commerce brands. I've been doing it for over 5 years and have generated over $35 million from email and SMS alone. You can follow me on Twitter, YouTube, or LinkedIn, whatever, it doesn't matter. And one more thing before we get into the actual guide is that if you want to get a free Black Friday 2025 action plan with the exact steps you should implement, what you should do, just pretty much you can execute it on your own. There's going to be a link below this video as well in the video description. You can book a free call with me. I'm going to create the whole Black Friday strategy for you and your brand specifically. And again, all of that is completely free. If you want, we can help you execute all of this as well. But if not, you can just take the strategy and implement it yourself. Now, let's get to everything we'll be covering in this video, which is going to be planning, execution, retention, repurchase, and then as a bonus, again, there's going to be a Black Friday 2025 action plan, which is something you can get right away. But all of these steps are super, super important because it's not like you can just go into Black Friday and do whatever. You need to plan it properly. Then you need to have the space and actual capacity for execution. And then you also need some strategies for retaining newly acquired customers, because you'll probably be getting way more new customers during Black Friday than any other period. So you need to think, okay, how do I retain them and how do I get them to repurchase again? Ideally, pretty quickly, within like 30 to 60 days. So your cash flow also gets better. But first of all, let's start with planning, which is probably the most tedious task, the most boring. It's not sexy at all, but this is what's needed to actually succeed in 2025 for Black Friday. So let's get started. We're already pretty close to Q4 and Black Friday, Cyber Monday. If you did some planning already, great job. You're probably in the minority because most brands didn't do anything yet, which I understand it. Don't many brands put in the time way before as they should, but you haven't done anything yet. No worries, you're still in a good place. Trust me, like lots of our brands and like even our clients haven't done any planning yet, and it's still fairly early. We're just entering Q4, so nothing wrong with that. But if it's already closer to Black Friday, if you're watching this video, in November or maybe even 1 week prior to Black Friday, then you should have at least have a vague idea of what you want to do. Now, planning isn't only about when to start and end your Black Friday or what kind of offer you should run. There are some other things that you should plan, which is inventory, what kind of offer, length, which are like the basic things. But then also you should ideally have a bank of content and creatives that you can and will be using during Black Friday. And then when it comes to email specifically, you should have custom flows, email campaigns, and sign up forms as well. I'm gonna briefly cover each and dive more in depth on custom flows and email campaigns because that's mainly what we do and what I specialize in. In terms of inventory, it's quite simple and straightforward. Just order more than enough. I mean, you can create a simple projection sheet and calculate how quickly you run out of stock. Just enter how many units of each SKU you sold each month. And once you have these numbers, do a simulation for Q4 based on your previous numbers. If it's gonna be your first Black Friday, then it's gonna be harder. But you can kind of look at your month-over-month growth and kind of predict that, okay, if we're growing 50% every single month, then probably during Black Friday it's gonna be 100% or 150%. But if you've had Black Friday in previous years, it will be easier because again, you already have more data and you will know much more than you need and what you need during this period. But if it's your first Black Friday, again, just order more than enough, and that's gonna be something you'll be thankful for doing. Worst case is that you don't sell all of your stock in Q4, but you can still sell it in Q1, which is still a very, very good period for e-commerce because new year, new me kind of angle performs for pretty much any niche, and at least the ones that we worked with, which is really any niche, like babies, electronics, supplements, clothing, jewelry, and so on, like really any niche. But the worst thing that can happen, and the main reason why you should be ordering more than enough, is that running out of stock during the busiest period. I mean, let's just think about it. Like if you actually run Black Friday as you should, so from Friday to let's say Monday, and on Saturday you're out of stock, you can't keep pushing during Sunday and Cyber Monday. Where, for example, last year, Cyber Monday and the Sunday before Sunday Monday, Cyber Monday, were the best days of the whole weekend. We don't know why. Like, there's probably some reasons. Like, people, were kind of waiting to get the best deal until the Black Friday ends, because usually a lot of brands are gonna kick off Black Friday, and then on Cyber Monday or last day of Black Friday, which is Sunday in this case, like pre-Cyber Monday, there's gonna be the better deal. So a lot of people wait for that, and if you can't compete with those people because you don't have any stock, you will miss out on the majority of the revenue that normally would come through. So again, I know the advice is pretty simple, but literally just order more than you need to. If you have previous Black Friday data, use that for your suggestion on how much stock to order. If that's your first Black Friday, just order more, like I would say twice as much as usual, and you should be good to go. Now, in terms of the offer, there's where surprisingly a lot of e-commerce brands mess up. The way they run the offer wrong and as a result lose the thousands of dollars is because they not factor in two critical metrics, which is AOV and profit margin. Because I mean, you can easily run 50% off and be like, yeah, that's our biggest sale ever, but in reality, you will be losing money. That's one thing. The other part of this equation is that if someone else is doing a specific offer, let's say your competitor, you can't just blindly copy them because you don't know their economics, okay? So don't be like everyone. You don't know their profit margins, break-even ROAS, retention, the whole backend really, AOV, cost of goods, and 10 other data points. Instead of guessing and doing what you did last year or what others are doing, actually run the numbers, and you can easily do it by following the simple unit economics guide that I prepared for you. Again, it's also gonna be below this video, linked in the description of the video. But again, it's just copy and paste spreadsheet that you can use to come out with your offer and then calculate, which one is best for you. It's actually pretty simple. I can show you right now. But overall, it's gonna show you, okay, what kind of offer do you want to run. Obviously, you will need to do the copy of the file, but in general, you can easily compare percentage discount, dollar discount, free shipping, free gift with purchase, buy one, get one, buy one, get a 50% off. You just enter all of the fields in the yellow field, and then you will see how much profit and net profit each offer will make based on the cost of the offer and whatnot. So again, it's really, really good for profitability. It's gonna be linked below this video, so again, you can just get it and then run the numbers. That's the best way to go about it. In terms of the length, this one's fairly simple. You don't want to be running it for a whole 3 months, or at least that's what I hope you don't want to do. I mean, some brands tend to run it quite long, but 3 months is like way too much. Because people are actively buying during this period anyways, so you don't really need to keep blasting the same discount over and over again. I would suggest running your Black Friday deals for around 2 to 3 weeks, and that's what we found is a sweet spot. If it goes well, you can always extend it by another week going into December and Christmas holidays period. Many experts will advise you against it because you can't be extending sales for whatever reason, but in my opinion, if you're scaling hard while being profitable. Just go for it, extend it for 1 week longer. It's not really gonna mess up your whole PR thing. Nobody really, cares as long as they got the deal. But new customers will be more attracted to your brand because of the offer you will be running. One more tip I have for you in terms of what kind of offer to run and what kind of length to do is that usually, for example, we have a list of offers that we want to test, and we run this test during Halloween or like very early into November. So then when the actual Black Friday weekend comes, we know, okay, this is the best offer and this is exactly what we want to do. So yeah, if you just want to test a few offers beforehand, you can do it for Halloween or very early in like November. You can also call it like maybe VIP Black Friday or whatever. Test the offer with your VIPs or like higher spenders and then see which one did the best numbers and then use that as a guide for the whole Black Friday. Okay, so if you're wondering when you should actually launch your main Black Friday offer, I would say do it a little bit earlier than everyone else. That's because customers have a certain amount of money they want or can spend to buy stuff, whether it's for themselves or as a gift for loved ones. And if your 10 biggest competitors launch 2 weeks before you, they'll gain a huge piece of the pie called market share. And if you want, and you want to be invited to the party, don't you? So just consider doing this. I'll also give you a hint that early October might be a little bit too early. Early to mid-November teaser, again, is also pretty good. Then launch it mid-November or 1 week ahead of Black Friday. And I'm also gonna have the exact campaign calendar you can follow for this. So, just no worries. I'm just gonna show you the actual dates when you should be sending what. So just stick through and you'll actually see. Now let's cover deliverability because this is really going to be your make or break for the entire email marketing strategy. And this is not some made up claim, just let's take a look at some data. Black Friday in the US brought in $9.5 billion in sales in 2024, which is last year. During Black Friday, the open rate increased by 44% and the click-through rate surged by 23% compared to regular email campaigns. And over the holiday week, brands sent over 4 billion emails that were sent to their subscribers, which means that the competition is huge, but also people are buying quite a lot during Black Friday and they're actively seeking the best deals everywhere. But your brand won't be the only one sending them because again, competition is going to be at an all-time high and you just can't afford to see your emails land in spam because otherwise nobody is going to see your emails at all. Now, don't just ignore deliverability and be like, I didn't know how to fix it. It was so bad. Just fix it. Like there are proven ways to do it. I have a bunch of videos and guides on how to do it. And this one is like TLDR version on like how to do it. To make sure that you get your emails out of the spam into the primary tab and make hundreds of thousands of extra dollars. So the first step you need to do to fix your deliverability is set up a custom sending domain, which can be done in Klaviyo. Again, I have a separate video on that, so it's going to be linked in the top right corner or whatever. Then you also want to get your technical setup right. So if you're going to be following Klaviyo's guide, you will have the SPF, the KYM, and the DMARC records. So the second step will be completed as well. Then you want to add your domain to Google Post Master Tools so you can track deliverability for Gmail specific inboxes and then just run a bunch of deliverability tests, which is going to be sending to your own inbox, sending the campaign to your own inbox and seeing where it lands. You can use a tool called Glockups. You can also check the deliverability tab in your Klaviyo account and see your open rates per ESP or ISP, which is Inbox Service Provider. Now, when it comes to cleaning your list, because those steps are just going to be like the basic and fundamentals. After you run the deliverability tests, you're going to see what needs to be fixed. Usually these tools, like for example this one, also give you some guides on like you can also clean your list or remove your email address from blacklists, which is going to help you as well. But not the blacklist really matters. So I'm just going to walk you through, how to actually fix it fairly quickly. The first step would be cleaning your email list and just getting rid of anyone who marked you as spam, bounced, or pretty much is not engaging with your emails, which is this segment. And again, Klaviyo will usually suppress these profiles anyways, but I just like to have them just in case, they missed something or there was some mistake or whatever. Just kind of remove those profiles and, there's not going to be any harm done to you at all. Then the other thing is going to be setting up the unengaged segment, which you can use usually for either suppressing your subscribers or just excluding them from the current campaigns. Now, it depends. You could also set up the sunset unengaged flow. Right now, I don't really recommend it. If you want to, again, I have a guide on that as well. But in my opinion, right now, it's not really needed because you're going to be getting low open rates. So we can ignore this step for now, unless you really want to. But then what you want to do as well, just suppress these profiles. So essentially, I would recommend you skip these steps and just follow the first one, which is creating the unengaged segment and then suppressing it in Klaviyo. But now after you've done all of this, your open rates across flows and campaigns, if they're above 40-50%, you're in a good spot. You just need to maintain it, which is keep what you're doing. But if you're below that and your emails are still going to spam, no worries. Here's a very quick fix. I mean, quick in a sense of like explaining it. I'm going to explain it fairly quickly, but in reality, fixing that can take a second. So assuming you've done all of these steps above and have the technical side in place, you will need to warm up your sending domain. If you're wondering how to do it, you just need to start sending campaigns, ideally plain text ones, at least at the beginning, to the most engaged email subscribers. So for example, you would send it to opened free segment, which is anyone who opened an email in the last 3 days. And then if your open rate are at 40-50% or above, expand your segment and send the next campaign to your open 7 segment, and pretty much keep doing that until you hit your open 60 and 90 segments. Then you can run another deliverability test, monitor post master tools, and start slowly adding store engagement so your segments look like this. Now you can also exclude the segments I showed you before, which is gonna be unengaged, bounces, spam marks. It would also suggest excluding the last 15 buyers, so people are not sending you emails along the lines of like, hey, where's my email? Where you keep sending me offers or emails where I still didn't get my email, okay? So I just usually recommend excluding those people as well, because it's not gonna hurt your sales anyways, unless you have very strategic and specific upsells, cross-sells campaigns in place. Here are some 7 bonus tips for deliverability. You want to try to include as few links as possible. I know it's not always the case, sometimes you need to include quite a lot of them, but in general, try to avoid like social media profile links or whatever. They're not going to make you sales, but they're gonna affect your deliverability in a bad way. So just try to have as few as possible. Then you want to compress all of your images. If you're uploading, emails to Klaviyo as images, use an app like squash.app, which is gonna help you have the smaller size of these. Then include all of your content in one Klaviyo section block, just again for smaller email size. Figure out the best send day and time. You can run A/B tests in Klaviyo. You can check your Shopify dashboard to identify the top performing days by sales, and then also look at the daily chart for the, when the sales happen, so we can figure out the top time for your demographics, specifically when they are most active. You also want to add something called HTML footer, which is a plain text block with your mission statement at the very end of each email. Now, don't be afraid to use plain text emails as well. They convert very well, probably even better than design-based ones, and they also have great deliverability. Another tip would be sending campaigns where you just ask to your subscribers to add your email address to contacts, bookmark it as important, or even move it to the primary email or reply to that email. And the one note is that each campaign should have one call to action, not all of them. So don't send, one email asking people to do all of these things, because then they're going to be confused and they'll end up doing nothing. Now, here are some of the KPIs. Usually I don't like, working with KPIs, but for open rate, I would say aim for minimum 30%, ideally 40-50%. Click rate 0.5%, but this is only when you're warming up the domain. After you warm it up, you can go targeting broad segments like opened 1 year or engaged 1 year, and then your click rate will drop. So if it drops below 0.5%, nothing wrong with this, because your net clicks or total clicks will be way higher than if you send to super small segments. For delivery rate, minimum 97%, bounce rate maximum 1%, spam rate maximum 0.3%, and unsubscribe rate as well maximum 0.3%. Now, that was from the preparation side, because really fixing deliverability takes a lot of time. So that's why I wanted you to kind of plan this in advance, and if you need to fix it, do it beforehand, because if you wake up like 1 week prior to Black Friday, you may just not have enough time to prepare deliverability, because fixing it really takes time. It's fairly easy in terms of like doing it if you know what you're doing, but again, it's gonna take weeks, in the worst case, months. So just do it in advance and then, just proceed to execution. But in terms of the execution, let's start with the segmentation. So what you want to do is you want to tease your email list, and send teaser emails to your engaged segments. Then you can do early bird launch to your VIP customers and those who opted in. What to do when the actual Black Friday officially starts? Well, you shouldn't be blasting, your regular list with, or you shouldn't be blasting your campaigns to the whole list for like regular campaigns. But for Black Friday, this is the time to do it. This is when you blast everyone. I just recommend creating 2 segments, which is buyers and non-buyers, and then including both of them to see the breakdown later on and see which one converted better, which one responded better to, let's say, plain text email, which one did better for the design-based email, and so on. Ideally, you should also have separate campaigns and different offers for buyers and non-buyers, but again, this is a little bit more advanced. The basic thing is just including buyers and non-buyers and separating them at the segments level. If you've been regularly cleaning your email list, just make sure to upload your suppressed profiles and re-engage them during Black Friday. It's not gonna be a make or break point. This is something you can do. Usually still most of your revenue is gonna come in from your active subscribers. So if you don't want to risk it, your deliverability, taking a hit or whatever, don't do it. You're fine with this as well. Once you do it, just make sure to upgrade your Klaviyo plan. And then after Black Friday, make sure to clean your list and downgrade it, because otherwise you'll end up overpaying for it quite a lot. Now, in terms of list growth and sign up forms, you should be really having custom ones. So Q4 is usually where your store will have the most traffic. There are two ways that you can use to maximize your revenue per session with pop-ups. First one is building your email list, and that goes into pre-Black Friday and during Black Friday. And the other one is you're promoting current offer, Black Friday offer, to existing email subscribers or even existing clients. Each one has their own use and target audience, so let me just very quickly explain them. For pre-Black Friday pop-up, again, you will have a lot of traffic even before the actual Black Friday. And the best way to use it is to launch your early bird pop-up. One thing to note is that you want to A/B test it against your current offer, because chances are it will do better, but you need to always be monitoring the performance. So here's a simple example, get early or like get on the Black Friday list. And again, let's say you're running 10% off. What you would do is you would A/B test 10% off versus sign up for our Black Friday offer or sign up for our biggest deal of the year, right? And then obviously your welcome flow revenue might not be as high because people are kind of anticipating for the actual Black Friday launch and offer, but you'll be getting probably way more opt-ins than with the regular offer. Now, list building pop-ups is, like during Black Friday, this is an example of that. And what you should do is pause your current pop-up, create a new pop-up that displays Black Friday offer. Make sure to also include some urgency and let people know that this deal will not get any better. Because again, a lot of people are kind of shopping through and thinking like, okay, I'm gonna wait for a better offer. Probably this thing is gonna get better or whatever. You want to prove them wrong and tell them like, hey, this is the best it's gonna get. We're not gonna have any bigger discounts. So actually buy now. Now, the problem with that is that you actually can't give them a bigger discount later on. But if that's the case, if you won't be increasing your incentive, make sure people know it so they won't be waiting up until the last day. Then just ask them for the email address and phone number. Just make sure that phone number is an optional and not required, and that also phone number request is a next step. So you don't want it to be simultaneously asking for email, phone name, phone number, or even their name. You want to ask for email, then the phone number, and then show them the discount code on the thank you page of the pop-up, so your conversion rate on that is the highest as well. Now, this pop-up will be displayed only to people who are not on your email list. So again, the previous pop-up would be pretty much pre-Black Friday displayed to people who are not on your email list. This one is gonna be during Black Friday, and it's gonna be shown for people who are also not on your email list. And I'm saying it specifically because then you should have another pop-up, which is gonna be an offer promoting one. This one will not be collecting any data at all. That's because you'll be displaying it only to your existing email subscribers or Klaviyo profiles. The purpose of this pop-up is to display your Black Friday offer and send all of the traffic to your main product collection or landing page or whatever it is that you're using. Make sure that you display it on your blog pages and so on, because you want to maximize revenue during that period. So obviously you would exclude this pop-up from your Black Friday landing page, but if someone goes to your homepage, collection page, blog article that is not Black Friday related, display this pop-up, send them to the offer, and make sure that they actually see the offer so you just make more sales. Now, in terms of flows, one more thing that is going to be important is having custom flows similarly to sign-up forms, right? Now, before we get into the what to do part, I just want to explain you why you will need to set up new flows, because the regular ones usually have a different offer than the one for Black Friday. So this is really the main reason why you should be doing it. And I know it sounds like it's not really significant, but in reality, you want to show your Black Friday offer in your key flows so you can convert as many people as possible. Here's the list of the flows you'll need to set up, which is not that extensive to be honest. It's just gonna be welcome flow, abandoned cart, checkout, browse abandonment, and then post purchase. If you already have these optimized, don't create them from scratch. You can just work with you already have, edit them, include your Black Friday offer, and then try to make them a little bit longer and more like wow or sophisticated. So you want them to feel special. When someone sees your regular emails, they'll be like, probably very nice email. But when you have those Black Friday flows, they should be like, wow, this is something big. This is a very big sale. They kind of need to feel it, if you know what I'm saying. So again, make sure that they're kind of shorter in terms of time delays, but they're also having this wow effect for Black Friday. Now, if you don't have any flow set up yet, you probably want to hurry up because setting up will take some time and optimizing them takes even more time, and effort. So just kind of hurry up. That's my main tip. I like to be a bit more aggressive during periods like Black Friday as well. And that's what I said before. Usually, instead of having multiple days of time delay between each email, I like to do 12 hours or even 8 hours. So you send more emails in a condensed period. But again, you're gonna have huge competition, so it won't hurt your open rates and deliverability, but it will actually maximize your revenue. Now, in terms of campaigns, the most important thing is going to be your offer. You want to make sure that your offer is clear and visible in every single email that you send out. The competition in customers' inboxes will be higher than ever, so you need to just send a lot of emails and then stand out in the inbox as well. Now, here's the simple campaigns cadence. I know that you might be hesitant of I don't want to send a lot. I actually want to, not send that many campaigns, but that's not really the way to go during Black Friday. That's mainly because during the actual Black Friday event weekend from Friday to Monday, you want to be sending 2 to 3 email campaigns per day. It's nothing wrong with that as long as your deliverability is good. And I don't even really mean open rate, because your open rate can be a little bit lower during that period, because again, people will be seeing lots of emails. But what I'm meaning is that if you're not going to spam, okay? So you can even send the test to yourself or use one of the other tools I showed you. And if you're not going to spam, then you're in the right place and you can keep on sending. Here is an example of a solid schedule that we ran for our clients last year and 2 years prior and so on. Black Friday, 3 emails and 2 texts. Three emails, which is gonna be morning, afternoon, evening sent. Texts are gonna be morning, evening sent. Both Saturday and Sunday after Black Friday or during the Black Friday weekend is gonna be Monday morning and afternoon sent for emails. And then for text, you're gonna have evening send. You can also kind of play with that as you see in this example, where on Saturday we did evening text and emails morning, afternoon. But then during actual Sunday, we did morning, evening emails and text during the afternoon. But again, you can kind of play with it. It's not set in stone. Then on Cyber Monday, you're gonna send 3 emails and 2 texts. 3 emails, again, similarly to Black Friday, morning, afternoon, evening. And for texts, you're gonna do morning and evening send. If you're wondering how you want to stand out, how you should stand out, it's mainly by preparing 2 formats of campaigns, which is gonna be design-based and plain text only. Now, before I get into this, just one more thing actually is that this is an example schedule. So if you can, or if you want to, you can prepare more campaigns and send as many as possible. Honestly, this schedule is perfectly fine because you're getting lots of volume, but you're not kind of exhausting people. Like still 3 emails in the same day and 2 texts is quite a lot. But the main thing about all of them is kind of making sure that emails and texts don't overlap, but they work together, right? So even if we have email and text both being sent as a morning send, you don't want to be sending both at 8 a.m. You want to do maybe email at 8 a.m. and text at 9 or 10 a.m. So people are getting multiple touch points every few hours, right? So let's say on Black Friday, you would say an email 7 a.m., text 9 a.m., then email you would do 12 or 1 p.m., and then text you would do 3 p.m., and then another email you would do 7 p.m. You see, every single person is going to be getting different touch point every 2 to 3 hours, and that's only from email and text, let alone ads, okay? And again, I know it might seem like quite a lot, so yeah, it actually is a lot to send, but again, this is the time where you want to be sending a lot and when you want to maximize your revenue. And if you want to get some help with this, I have templates that you can use for Black Friday specifically. It's gonna include pretty much this whole schedule. So all of these emails and text you're seeing with a copy paste template that you can take and use. Again, it's gonna be linked below in the description as well. So if you want some help, if you want the copy paste solution, there's gonna be some templates that you can go ahead and use. So, just get them right away. And then also all of these templates are kind of mixed, right? So we're gonna have mix of plain text emails and then design-based emails, which is exactly what you should be doing if you want to stand out. You need both during Black Friday because all brands are usually sending mainly, design-based emails. And if you send the plain text one, it's gonna cut through and your subscribers will be hooked right away because the first impression won't be that it's a sales email, especially during Black Friday, right? Aside from that, you want to make sure that your design-based emails are different than your regular campaigns. I usually recommend using a bit more bold font, having another branded colors being lead colors. So let's say usually, your brand colors are purple and green and maybe yellow, and the green is the leading one. Well, for Black Friday, maybe use purple or yellow as a leading one so it kind of stands out, breaks the pattern, and so on. If your branding allows you to, you can even go totally off brand and choose colors specifically for Black Friday period. Now, let's talk about retention and repurchase, because it's going to be very important. During Black Friday, you're going to be acquiring a lot of customers. So what you want to do is maximize your value later on. So again, you're going to be acquiring tons of people, and the worst thing you can do is just forget about them or ignore it completely. Post Black Friday period is usually when you can make huge profit, because you've already acquired the customers and paid to do so. So now every single purchase that will come in is going to be highly profitable. And the one more important thing about it is that people are actually gonna be ignoring this period. I mean, everyone focuses on Black Friday. Not many brands focus on post Black Friday. They focus on this, one big weekend, which is Friday to Monday, but they don't focus about what's going to happen 1 week later, 2 weeks later, and 3 weeks later. And if you do that, if you focus on that period, you're gonna make significantly more money than your competitors. So let's talk about repurchase strategy, because again, your goal should be to get first-time buyers to buy from you once again within 30 to 90 days after Black Friday. This will help you maximize not only profit, but also provide decent cash flow for things like inventory, ads, and your brand to Lamborghini, because if you follow everything in this guide, you will most likely be able to get one. So yeah, just how it is. Now, what you need to do is quite simple, not easy though. So it will come down to creating post Black Friday segments, post Black Friday flows, and then post Black Friday campaigns. In terms of post Black Friday segments, there will be 3 critical segments that you will need, and that will help you just make more money. They'll also help you convert more subscribers that came in during Black Friday but didn't become customers, turn more one-time buyers into repeat buyers, and then also re-engage your list as a whole. So converting subscribers that didn't convert is quite simple. I mean, this segment includes non-buyers who joined during Black Friday, because the worst thing you can do is ignore them and waste all of this traffic that converted into email subscribers. For the subscribe tool metric, you can just adjust the dates based on your Black Friday length. So this is the filter that's going to be filtering when someone came in. Let's say your Black Friday began earlier. For example, on 15th of November, this is what they would use. And let's say it ended a bit later as well. So maybe 15th of December, you would adjust both of these, and there you go. That's pretty much the segment you need. Now, for turning one-time buyers into repeat customers, this is usually the lowest hanging fruit. It doesn't matter if you sell replenishable products or not. This segment is an easy way to increase your profit and improve your cash flow, mainly because these customers are already on your list and they spend some money with your brand. So again, you can pause the video and copy this segment, the whole definition. But again, even if you don't sell products that can be replenished, still try to sell those people, mainly because this period post Black Friday is still like a holiday period where people are still shopping for gifts. So we want to use that, because even if you're selling like an electronics device which someone bought, if they're looking for a gift for someone who, let's say, has a similar interest to them, they'll buy it as well. Like, we have one client who's selling electronics to people who have vintage stereos. So like super niche, not many people actually know about it. But if they're using vintage stereos and they like to listen to music at home, they probably have a friend who has similar interest, which is vintage, devices that play music, and then also listening to good music or good quality music. So what you want to do is, again, create this segment and just send campaigns to those people, promoting different offers, or maybe just kind of using a gifting angle, which is going to do very, very well. Now, you also want to re-engage your list, because you just can't forget about all of the other subscribers. Some of them will be engaged, some of them engaged with your brand during Black Friday, but some of them didn't. That's just the truth. I mean, timing plays a huge role into making someone buy from you as well, and that's completely fine. Post Black Friday is still a great period to revive your email list and convert those who are on the fence or just who didn't get to purchase from you for whatever reason. I would suggest playing with the segment period 90, 180, and 365 days. You can even go as far as like someone who has opened an email ever. Like, if your deliverability is very good, you can target everyone who has ever opened an email from you, and that's gonna be great as well. As long as your open rates are like above 40%, you can go ahead and do it and just play with those broad segments. Now, in terms of post Black Friday flows, the most sales are going to come in from these flows that re-engage your Black Friday customers. That includes cross-sell, replenishment, win-back, and with these flows, you have two options. You can either leave your current flows running, just make sure they're optimized, or you can set up new flows. To be honest, both options are valid, but if your current flows are already doing well and they're optimized, there's no need to reinvent the wheel. But if they're average, I would recommend setting up new ones. So again, if you don't have these flows, which is cross-sell, replenishment, if applicable to your brand, and win-back, set up all of them right away. If you have them and they're not optimized, either optimize them or launch a new set of flows and see if that would perform better. Post Black Friday flow structure is honestly quite simple. One thing I would suggest with them is being a bit more aggressive, because again, people are still in the buying mode for like the next month or two, so you kind of want to use it, but then shorter your time delays and try to add in some offers, whether it's holiday offer, New Year's offer, or anything else. A brief outline would be 3 to 4 emails for the cross-sell, 3 emails for replenishment, 3 emails for win-back, and that's it. Make sure you have at least one plain text email in each of these flows, then set them up, back populate, and then during seeing your first-time buyers, become repeat customers and buying more and more from you. Now, in terms of post Black Friday campaigns, we already covered the segments that you should be using, but in terms of the main segment you're going to be using is going to be Black Friday non-buyers, Black Friday non-buyers reactivation, and then your regular engaged list. And what's going to be important is your sending frequency and content. Each segment requires different treatment, so let's break it one by one. For Black Friday, Cyber Monday non-buyers, they don't really care about the price, at least in my opinion. It might sound like, like a nonsense to you, but just think about it. They had the chance to buy from you during Black Friday, which is the lowest price available, and they still didn't do it. But if they didn't unsubscribe, it does mean that they're still interested in what you're selling. They still have the problem that they need to be solved. And that means that they have some other objections. Your campaigns should be solving all of these objections. So some angles you should test should be stuff like authority, social proof, mythbusters, USP or us versus them, and then product and brand awareness. Then you're also gonna have Black Friday bars reactivation. You just have to keep hitting these people with emails, all the time pretty much. You got to get them buy from you for the first time, which is the hardest. So getting them to buy again will be way easier. All you have to do is keep educating them about your brand, cross-selling products, ensuring they made a good decision. And some of the campaigns, that you could be sending to those people is gonna be, why do you need more than one X? So for example, we have a client that sells air purifiers, and we usually explain like, hey, if you bought one, you might need more for every single room, for your kids or whatever. Gifting time, another one great angle. Just give your friends or loved ones product Y. If you're running out of that, time to replenish. So again, if your products are replenishable, this is a great angle. Regular complementary cross-sell or upsell. What makes us better than other brands? Bundles push, your rivals push, all of these are gonna perform quite well. In terms of your engaged segment, you absolutely can't forget about it. The truth is that probably 70 to 80% of your total campaigns are targeting this segment, or at least should be, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure you have a variety of content so people won't be bored and they won't unsubscribe. They're already engaged, so here's some content that you can send them. You can be sending them updates about the promo or about the brand in itself or about the product, then some social media promo, bundles, your rivals push, stuff about your brand or USPs, mythbusters, infotainments, educational emails, value-packed plain text campaigns, and so on and so on. Now, that was pretty much it for the whole guide, but again, here's gonna be a small bonus for you. So it's gonna be a free action plan for Black Friday 2025. And again, I'm gonna do it myself. It's not gonna be some project manager doing it for me. I'm gonna hop on a call with you, out to your Clive account, and prepare a custom game plan for your brand specifically on how you can make the most money during the best time to make the most money. So again, if you want to get rich together and just make a lot of money during the most important part of the year, there's gonna be a link below this video. You can book a free call, have a consultation with me. I'm just gonna show you what to do. If you want me and my team to implement it for you, we'll gladly do it if you're a good fit. If we're not a good fit, I'm gonna give you an action plan regardless. So again, go book a call and then I'll see you there. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.